I was watching this, and I don't want to be too hyperbolic, and I don't want to be too, I think there's an argument that this is the greatest movie ever
The greatest? Was not seeing that coming.
made. Because this movie has everything. It's like
It is very much Highlander : anything goes.
exactly. I did not expect, like, we watched the first movie and I'm like, oh cool, like cool sci-fi fantasy premise, like cool execution. As I said last week, like it's one of those things where I was like, right, it seems like a guy had an idea and that's pretty cool, and he's got this mythology, and then this one's just like
It just throws it away.
Yeah. I like when Russell Mulcahy's like, yeah, I lost control of it in the edit
yeah.
to like the producers or like the Argentinian government got involved and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I not that I call bullshit, but like no one has control over this at all. So it's
No, no,
like,
yeah, well, I think,
so
well,
it's
I think
like it would probably be pretty easy to wrestle control back because nobody seems to
from
know
the
what's
origin,
going
it's
on.
like, yeah, I think the only thing that wrestled this movie away from anyone was cocaine. I think that's
Okay, this movie is like legendarily bad.
yeah.
So I knew that going in. It's objectively like a bad movie for sure, but there's so many things in it that I enjoy.
You guys asked me last week to rank them,
Mhm.
and I put this as my least favorite. And I had not seen it in a while, but I had seen it before, and my memory was that it's the worst. And watching it this time, it was way more watchable than I remembered. Like it is a total mess, but in some interesting ways, it's super watchable. Um, and I don't know that it's the worst.
It can't be. Objectively, it can't be and we watch enough bad movies. Like I've had to review so much red box bullshit in my life. Like had to review. Chose enthusiastically to review. Where a movie that has this many ideas, as bonkers as the ideas are, as bad as they are, or whatever, is it just objectively can't be the worst movie ever. You just objectively, this movie just has to rank somewhere above the worst movies ever made. Like it's like people who say that just haven't frankly seen enough movies. If we're talking about like Plan 9 from Outer Space, or Highlander 2 is the worst movies ever. It's like, no, the worst movies are the bland ones, the ones that have no ideas. This movie is, again, chock full of ideas. None of them make any sense, and they're all fueled by cocaine, but still they have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that two things sort of inform the like this is one of the worst movies ever thing. One is that it was 1991, and like leading up to this might have been one of the worst movies ever in 91, but we've seen so many bad movies since then that are of less skill and less ambition. And like they were watching the theatrical cut, this Renegade version that we watched came out in 1995. I am by no means an expert on the differences, but I did skim the theatrical version because it was like a VHS rip somebody uploaded to YouTube. And I just watched the ending, and it's so worse than like the Renegade version, just from what I can see. And then I saw like this retrospective overview where some guy kind of goes into the differences, and he's like, oh no, if you think the theatrical US version's bad, just wait till you see what they did in the UK theatrical version.
Yeah, it is important to note that we did watch the Renegade Cut, which I allegedly clarifies a lot of things, makes everything clear and all that, but it still just completely abandons the continuity of the first movie. It completely abandons Connery is just back, and that's why I was curious before, because I'd seen this movie. I said I'd seen it, but not in many years, not in any, like, it's one of those things where it's like you might as well not have seen it.
I think that's probably one of some of the people that say it's the worst. That's what they're probably responding to.
Yeah,
it's just they're bummed out that it's such a left turn from the first movie.
Which I get, and I can completely understand that. But when the story opens, and again we have that opening, not really a crawl, but that opening credit, and it's just like, by the way, climate change is a problem, and the Earth has been wrapped in a shield, an air shield from Spaceballs, like that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm sorry, what are we doing? Like, it was one of those things. So this is right to check the voodoo thing to make sure I played the right movie.
Well, it's not even that, like, or not only that, there's like all these other movies that it's sort of borrowing from. So it's like there's clearly like Terminator influence, which the first one sort of does too, but like there's Terminator influence. There's a lot of RoboCop in this
There's
because
RoboCop,
there's like
hoverboards and all
like
that.
like psychic cook TV show with zombies and stuff, and
There's
it's
that
like
weird like Verhoeven thing. Yeah, there's
or
that
like
weird,
the video on the airplane that Connery watches that's very satirical with the airplane crashing and stuff like that.
and
It's
he's got this whole sequence where he's got the whole suit thing where it's the guy's making him a suit.
Oh God, I love the suit thing
It
because
was
you know that
great.
was just Connery being like taking full advantage of his star power and just being like, I want to find suit. Let's
And it's just like,
shoehorn this scene in.
well, I was just watching it like this. I'm just like, this is incredible. Like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
I was like that during the fight with which somebody else on YouTube described it as the two human salacious crumbs. And he was on a hoverboard like Dolph Lundgren in Masters of the Universe.
yes.
And I'm just like, this is my jam. Like, I am so in on this.
I had so much fun with this movie. I had so much fun. Like it just and again, you like you said, it's got the RoboCop, it's got the Verhoeven like social commentary stuff. It's got like futuristic Blade Runner kind of stuff in it. It's got the climate change plot. It's got the weird Connery comedy. It's got Johnny C. McGinley as like a corrupt executive, and it's got Ironside. I mean, it's
yeah.
How does this and Mike, the thing that's going to really bum me out if we get to the third one and there's not another killer all-star antagonist performance.
You're in luck because Mario Van Peebles is off the charts in that movie.
I love me some Mario Van Peebles.
I can't wait.
I'm excited to see that again.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I made a list. I gotta call out a couple of things. Like, I'm in absolute love with the cinematography, lighting, everything, like from the look of this movie. Because like I was just watching Panic Room last week, and that's a movie that's dark but looks real dingy, and I think it's kind of unappealing to look at after a while. But this is like, the sidewalks are wet, there's wind machines, there's like, you know, just the right light. There are certain parts where I'm just like, the backlighting is so good and the key lighting is so good, especially with these dark you know, scenes. I'm just like, who did the lighting on this? And then it just says like, and I'm like, everybody in this looks like a giant movie star. Like, who did the lighting on this? And then it says lighting courtesy of Star Lighting. And I'm like, I knew it was Star Lighting because they light stars.
It's that Mulcahy music video thing again. It's that thing.
Well,
like, he even tops that opera sequence in the beginning. He tops the wrestling sequence from the
I'm glad you brought that up because it looks just as good. It's like these crane tracking shots and everything, and like it looks like something out of like 12 Monkeys and Blade Runner, and it's so beautifully like just it's not like storytelling, but just visually, it's like it gets you into it right away.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so what's your list? I gotta hear some of this stuff on this list.
Yeah.
I love old man Christopher Lambert voice. Like, that was a choice.
Yep.
Big fan of that. I love that him and Virginia Madsen like make out in the alley very quickly where the only thing, it's like Virginia Madsen was just like, if this guy were just 40 years younger. And then like it happens because he quickens after killing one of the salacious crumbs, and then like he gets younger, and then it was great because like I'm just like, wow, this is some like hot movie kissing, and then they zoom in like on a 2-shot instead of like the full body shot, and you can see that he's just basically like waggling his chin across her face, and I'm just like, oh, this is not good movie kissing at all. I remember Arnold did this in Last Action Hero, but Michael Ironside does this in the train scene where he's about to like kill a bunch of people, but he opens the scene just by going, hi. I like that there's the ceiling fan. It's kind of like the trash compactor in Star Wars A New Hope, but like there's the ceiling fan that's coming down. And then Connery stops it and then decides he's just like, I'm good. I don't need to go through the rest of this climax with you.
Just pieces out. I love it.
But no, I was thinking of you, especially Rob, while I was watching this, because I'm just like, I'm much more like a you know, throw some things at the wall and see what sticks type of movie watcher, but you're such like a plot story guy. And I'm just like, you must be going out of your mind during this.
But the thing, and I am, but the thing about it is when a movie doesn't have pretensions to plotting, it's so much more enjoyable. That maybe brings us to the IMDb trivia page, which is wild for this movie. Which, and again, IMDb trivia, you know, the accuracy, who knows, but it's full of just like these gems, like, you know, Ironside saying that he hated the movie, that he knew it was terrible, but he said if I'm going to be in this piece of shit, I'm going to be the most memorable thing in it, and I think I succeeded. But he's got stiff competition because there's a lot of memorable shit in this movie.
Do you guys think that Connery's totally gross inappropriate dialogue on the plane was ad-libbed, or do you think
I don't think he knew the camera was on?
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
I think it's like that. Yeah, that, and then the scene where he's like apparates like at the Shakespeare play at Hamlet, and then he's just like, I'm gonna fuck with this guy.
That's another thing where it's just like, what's going on in this movie? What's happening? And it's so crazy because this movie is wedged. This is a Last Crusade sandwich, right? Because Highlander 1 and Highlander 2, in between there's Last Crusade, right? Isn't Last Crusade 89?
And Untouchables. Like,
and
this came after like he won an Oscar and was like, it was this Hunt for Red October was a huge hit. He did the cameo in Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. There was no reason why he needed to do Highlander 2. But it seems like he was just buddies with Christopher Lambert and wanted to, like, you know, do another movie, and they're gonna pay him like an insane amount of money.
So Mike, this ranks higher for you now, you think, now that you've rewatched it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, like, and I have so little recollection of 3 and 4, so I do not want to rank them anymore, because again, that always seems to get me in trouble on this website. But yeah, and again, it had been a little while since I had seen 2, but I'd seen it more recently than 3 and 4, and I remember, not enjoying it the way I did this time, because like you guys said, I was never bored. It is all over the place, but in really fun ways, and I dug it way more than I thought than I remembered doing before, and then I thought I would.
I could put it on again right now. I really could. I mean, it's not going to make any sense. It's not going to make any more sense, but everybody's just chewing the scenery and just having fun, and
it kind of makes you feel like magic exists in the world. There's something like it, like we're so hell-bent on like things working and like making sense and stuff, and it's just like, oh, these crazy things just exist out there in the world, and it makes me feel good that like something as weird as Highlander 2, the Renegade edition, or the Quickening, or whatever is like out there for people to discover.
It's magic. It's the magic of cinema.
This series has been like way more fun than I expected it to be. Like, I expected it to be fun, but like it's like wormed its way into my heart, and I'm so invested in like just every little crevice of this universe. So I'm and just knowing like how much I liked Highlander 3 with no context for any of this shit before. I can't wait to revisit that too, because it's very, very like 90s. I don't think New Line came out with it, but like it's very much 90s, like New Line type of.
See that? I'm so excited to watch it now. All right, so we'll be back next week with Highlander 3, the Revolution, the
Final Dimension. I think it's another one where there's like a bunch of different subtitles. I think there's like 2 or 3 different ones.
All right. Well, until next time.
Hi.
Bye, guys.